What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Do You Even Read? With my host, Inkspots. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey man, what's up? I'm doing good. I'm off work. I'm ready to talk about some freaking comic books, brother.
Hell yeah, man. Excellent. Yeah. Oh, hey, we got 24 Eyes in the chat. What's up, 24 Eyes? And a Flying Feline. Hey, Flying Feline. Thanks for coming to hang out.
Hey guys.
Welcome. Yeah, man. I'm ready to talk some comics. I actually haven't revisited the Age of Apocalypse in a very long time. You know,
I know it's strange because it was
man.
one of my favorite. It was like one of my favorite eras in the X-Men. So
Like the whole Age of
story
Apocalypse
arc,
thing.
yeah, because it was just like it was like at a time where the book really needed a turning point because it was starting to get boring, and then they just kind of flipped everything on its head, and you had the same old characters, but they were all renewed. They had different backstories, different things happened to them, so different costumes even.
Oh yeah, different costumes. Kind of different. I don't know, almost different personalities in some cases. You know. Because I mean, you got Magneto definitely is a lot different in this reality than he is in the normal 616 Marvel universe. You know, but I don't know. Were you reading X-Men up until this point? Like, were you actively reading X-Men?
I had read the Jim Lee era. And it had after they all left for Image, everything just started getting boring, and so I had slowly stopped reading.
Oh, okay.
And I can tell you what got me back into reading the X-Men was what we're going to talk about today, X-Men Alpha.
Yep.
And I think like the main thing with that book is it had one of the most spectacular what is that called? Hollow foil covers.
Chrome. It's a chromium. It's a chromium cover.
It was etched.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first cover like that I had ever seen, and it was like the most gorgeous. I was like, I have to have that comic book, and it was
this one.
and it was drawn by the man at the time, Joe
Mad.
Yeah, the Madman.
His style was just taking over everything. Everybody loved Joe Mad's style. And with good reason. I mean, look at the energy.
Yeah, and
look how exciting it is. Look how fluid.
He had really, nailed down his style like he knew what he was by this point.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he's been doing this stuff since he was 16. Like he would, Joe Mad would get out of high school, and he'd go home and he would work on his stuff for Marvel. Like he did a Deadpool miniseries. After the initial introduction of the character by Rob Liefeld, Joe Madureira was given a Deadpool miniseries, and I think Fabian Nicieza actually wrote it. And that's where you had Tolliver and Slayback show up, and that was one of the things that really boosted Joe Mad's popularity. And then he got put on X-Men after that, and then here we are, with this one.
And it's funny how you remember things when you were a kid, because we were just talking. In my mind, I had always remembered this entire book being drawn by Joe Mad.
Right.
And so I reread it, and I get into the inside, and I'm like, this is... I thought Joe Mad was way more polished than this, and I get through the first, I'm like, this is not his best work. And then I get to the credits page. Roger Cruz drew the whole book.
That's
Joe Mad only did the cover. Holy cow, dude! It blew my mind. I did not remember that.
And that was a huge thing back then. Was artists aping other artists, especially more popular ones. Yeah. Especially one as popular as Joe Mad. I mean, his style got aped over and over and over again because it was the hot thing. I mean, the same thing happened with Jim Lee and Mark
J.
Silvestri.
Scott Campbell. Yep,
J. Scott Campbell.
Yep.
Everybody wanted to draw.
Everybody was Silvestri for, like, even now, if you look at everyone that came after, every style that's the current style has some influence from them guys still in it. I mean, every you could pick out one of those four guys, every time you see a comic book artist, and one of their influences is in, the newer guys' work. So,
Oh yeah.
they really
Well,
were like legendary. Like they were the new age of comics. So.
well, they were blazing a new trail, artistic wise. They were taking the stuff that they had seen for years and years, with the standard, the John Burns and the John Buscema's and all that, and then they were just pushing it to the nth degree. They were pushing it further. Well, what
But I
happens if
think,
we crosshatch more here? We do this more there.
With Joe Mad, he was the first one to really bring the manga influence into mainstream comics. So
Have that manga anime flair to the artwork.
Hey,
And
Lola.
it was huge. It was successful. Hey Lola, what's up? Thanks for coming to hang out. Good to see you.
She always has the best avatars.
Yes, she does. She does indeed. Very, very alluring and pleasing to the eye.
And so, I remember when I seen this cover, the first thing I noticed was Wolverine missing a hand.
Yep. It's
blew my mind the first time. I was like, whoa!
how did he lose? Why has he lost a hand? And why is he on the same team with Sabretooth? What? Yeah. Yeah. Because I was actually reading X-Men at this time. I was getting X-Men on a monthly basis at this time.
Yeah.
And I remember Wolverine 90. As a matter of fact, it was the brawl for it all. Actually, it wasn't Wolverine 90. It was Wolverine 126. I'm looking at this boxing ticket that they put together. It's a Hildebrandt Brothers cover to Wolverine number 126. Interiors by Adam Kubert. Anyway, just a knockdown, drag-out, nasty fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth. And right before everything gets crystallized and saved, and then we go into the Age of Apocalypse, Wolverine's got his bone claws. He's got a bone claw on either side of Creed's face, and he just pops the third claw and ends Creed.
Brain. Yeah.
Yeah, just pop. And then we're in the Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's when the Kuberts were drawing Wolverine, right? Or was it Andy or Adam?
It was Adam. Adam was drawing.
Okay. Adam was always the better one to me. Andy always had a more bubbly style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love Adam's draftsmanship. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Adam was. Yeah, he was the man.
Yeah.
And the only one I liked more than Adam was Joe. I loved Joe. I loved Joe Kubert, Big Daddy Kubert. Yeah.
Yeah. You could always tell a Joe Kubert piece whenever you see it. I mean, you can always tell an Adam or an Andy Kubert piece as well. But you can always tell a Joe Kubert piece just by the line work and just the shadows and the body language. It's good shit, man.
And that ties in very nicely with this book because, again, we have Roger Cruz, who never had his own distinctive style.
No.
So even when people see Roger Cruz now, who gets the credit for it? Joe Mad gets credit. Yeah. Yep. Every Roger Cruz book, I guarantee you, someone looks at it and says, Joe Mad, that must have been before he knew how to draw. And so I mean, what kind of impact does that have on you? I mean, he still had a career in comics, but people just think of him as the less skilled Joe Mad. So.
Right. I mean, you're constantly getting compared to somebody else just because, you drew like that style. Yeah. What's up, Johnny Cage? Welcome. The weebs were always meant to take over everything. Well, I mean, they're certainly taking over story, and that's where the money is. I mean, God forbid, we make a good story and people buy it. So, funny how that works. Yeah.
So some of the cool features on the characters in the book, one that I really liked was Colossus.
Yeah.
Colossus in this book has been through so many battles and had so much battle damage that his steel outer shell is worn off, and he actually has to wear additional armor to cover the holes in his armored shell.
Yep.
That's pretty cool, man. I mean, that was again with Wolverine missing a hand and Colossus having to wear armor. And then one character I really enjoyed, and it was Blink. And
Oh yeah,
I don't know if she was even in the comics before this.
she was not.
Yeah, she was a great new character, and they messed her up later. But in the Age of Apocalypse, she was a really cool looking character.
Oh yeah. No, she was a character that was created for Age of Apocalypse,
Yeah,
specifically, and then she was part of the Exiles. After that, they used her in the universe hopping stories, and
yeah,
she's a really cool character. Very very unique design. I want to say Joe Mad designed her, but I
I
don't
would.
know.
I mean, she looks like a Joe Mad creation. Like,
She looks like she stepped out of Battle Chasers, to be
yeah,
honest with you.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like she should be in Battle Chasers. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Joe Mad designed her. The speaking of the different relationships, like Magneto, basically being the leader, but also he and Rogue have a child together.
Yeah.
Which is nuts, because Rogue can't touch anyone.
Yeah.
But except for in this reality, apparently she can touch Magneto, because she has some kind of latent magnetic ability or something like that, and he can turn off.
Yeah.
I don't. It's been a long time since I remember the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, he's able to turn her off and turn her out.
Quite where I was going with that, but yeah, there you go. The other thing that I really enjoyed about this universe was Wolverine got to be with Jean Grey. They were together.
That's awesome. They're actually, even in this book, they're going on a mission for Sinister. In this book, yeah. So, and so in this book, it's basically a what if story where Professor X gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
By his son, right? Who kills Professor?
Yes, it's in the Legion Quest storyline. Legion, which is Professor Xavier's son, David Haller, who is an Omega level mutant, like fuck up reality Omega level mutant. He goes back in time to stop Magneto from becoming the greatest thorn in his father's side, and he's gonna go kill Magneto. But Xavier, being the heroic, person that he is, jumps in front of Magneto and saves his life.
So this is basically what if Professor X died and Magneto is the head of the X-Men, and what happens is everything gets royally screwed up.
Without Xavier to form the X-Men and them to fight for humanity, or fight for equality between humans and mutants, Apocalypse basically rises and takes over everything. The entire world is taken over
at this
because
point,
the X-Men were not there.
Entire North American continent is wiped clean from Homo sapiens. There's very few left, and the few that are left are being hunted and murdered. And the only ones standing in their way are the X-Men led by Magneto.
Yep.
Crazy, dude.
And Magneto is carrying on Xavier's dream, the dream that he didn't necessarily believe in, but seeing his friend die, he decided to crystallize that dream and create the X-Men.
Yeah, so I think this book is carried really on concept and on that cover. The cover and the concept of the book, not so much on the quality of the art, even though the art's pretty, even for Roger Cruz, this is pretty decent for him, because I've seen like way worse art by him.
Well, see, and looking at this, it gets a little rougher as the issue goes on too.
Yeah.
Because the poor guy was under a time constraint, I'm sure. But there's some solid draftsmanship in this issue from Roger Cruz.
And we got
just good storytelling
by Mark Waid.
Ugh.
Dialogue by Mark Waid.
Well, that explains why some of the dialogue is cheesy as fuck.
Yeah, we got Scott Lobdell as the he wrote the plot.
He wrote the story. Yeah, Scott Lobdell knows how to tell a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Mark Waid in there.
That's unfortunate.
And so, yeah, that's a couple things that really
What's up,
surprised
Christopher
me.
John? Yeah. Yeah, that's that. I definitely remember, thinking that Joe Mad did this whole issue.
In my head, for the last 20 years, Joe Mad drew this book.
Right. What's up, Anthony? Good to see you, man. And yes, hail Joe Mad, Christopher John. Agreed, man. Agreed. What's up, Shadowhawk? Hail, brother. Thanks for coming.
And from what I remember, didn't Joe Mad and Roger Cruz have a little bit of a beef because Joe Mad wasn't too happy that he was aping his style?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember him poking fun about it, but I don't remember there necessarily being a beef. I did see something recently where Joe Mad's like, "Oh, Roger Cruz finally learned how to draw his own style."
Yeah, he tweeted out. That's what he said. He goes, "Oh, Roger Cruz learned how to draw."
Yeah,
so
that's brutal.
That was pretty good.
That's pretty brutal. But I mean, like I said, there's not bad work in this book. Roger Cruz just he made a career of aping styles because I mean, if you look at the later on parts of this book, you can see that it kind of reverts back to that whole draw like Jim Lee a little bit. Stuff that he was used to drawing.
What I was going to say is
the spot
really
blacks
like,
and the hatching.
Character designs in this book. I
Yes.
love Nightcrawler's outfit.
Yep.
Blink looks fantastic, and I love the way they have Colossus looking. This is a cool thing with Wild Child being like this little beast that Sabretooth lets loose.
Yeah. I thought that was
fun.
interesting to see Creed as the voice of reason and the restraint for a little berserker. Yeah. So.
Blink's a great character. Nightcrawler looks really badass in this book too.
Yeah, they changed him a little bit in this as well. He's a little. I mean, all the characters are a bit more dark. They're all a bit darker, than their normal 616 counterparts.
Got Iceman right here murdering somebody, a few pages in, so that's definitely Bobby Drake.
Well, I mean, Iceman was very, very cold in this story. Like, I mean, obviously he's Iceman, so, but no, he very cold and distant as a person. Like, did not interact with the team much.
You got this. Oh, these dead bodies.
Pit.
Oh god. Right? Is this like a call to the death of Superman? Kind of like a nod. When there's something like this in the death of Superman.
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the flag. Huh.
And then the only person that kind of remembers the way the world is supposed to be
is Bishop.
Bishop, yeah.
Yep.
And they get his fro's gone.
But he's drastically different in this.
Yeah, he's always the man at a time, but he's the only one that kind of remembers what's going on, and he tries to get to fix it. But
yep. Legion Warp Time. By the way, speaking of Legion, did you ever watch the TV show Legion on FX?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the TV show, actually.
I thought it was very well done. I mean, the ending kind of fizzled out for me, but yeah. A guy holds a newspaper, reads Roger Cruz swipes again. Oh shit. But yeah, I enjoyed the Legion TV series.
Yeah, anything good they take off the air, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, it got 3 seasons, which for a show like that, I'm surprised. The most drastic change I think in characters for this story arc were the original X-Men, like how drastically they are different. Like Dark Beast here.
Yeah.
Like this dude's an asshole.
He is.
Like he is just evil, and he kind of delights in being evil.
Yeah, him and Sinister just running experiments on. Crazy.
Yep, and that's Blob that they're dealing with right there. That's Fred Dukes, and of course Havoc being the good soldier.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. All all the Summers brothers are kind of on the wrong side in this story.
Yep. And that's how old Cyclops ended up losing an eye.
Yeah, didn't Wolverine popped it out?
Yeah, Wolverine cut it out. But I mean, that's also how Wolverine lost the hand. You know, Cyclops blasted his hand off.
Yeah, it's not bad art, for Roger Cruz.
No,
but you can tell even we only went a few pages in, it's starting to fall apart a little bit.
Yep.
And then towards the end, it gets really sketchy. But,
well, I mean, towards the end there, he's got to finish the damn book.
Yeah, the
poor guy.
Are getting real simple and.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
It's a fun
Rogue
book,
and Magneto.
Yep.
That kid looks pretty goofy.
Yeah. Like I said, getting towards the end of the book, you realize that he's running out of time.
It's kind of odd because it's almost like he's drawing in a different style. Towards
yes.
The end. He's
you know what? This is probably closer to his natural style.
Yeah.
He
stopped aping. He's using a lot of cross hatching and
Mm-hmm.
And it's not clean. It's not clean at all either.
No, it's not. And you look at the stuff that's supposed to look like Joe Mad. There's a lot of like spot blacks, and there's just a little bit of hatching, but not cross hatching. And then you look at the stuff later on in this issue where he's definitely going back to that whole Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, the late '90s or the early '90s style.
And then he named his son after Professor Xavier. So their son's name is Charles. So.
Yep.
Yeah. It's great. I love this character right here, Abyss.
Yeah, that was another one I think that was created for Age of Apocalypse, much like Holocaust there.
That's a really, really cool character design right there.
Yeah. And I want to say that Joe Mad designed Holocaust as well. Probably at best, too.
And
I mean, look at the character design.
Like? What was the one the big event that came after this? Where Professor X goes
Onslaught.
Crazy. Onslaught looks a lot like Abyss. With the big armor and everything.
Yeah, wait. That was that's Holocaust with the big armor.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's what I mean. Holocaust.
Yeah.
Onslaught looks a lot like Holocaust. So.
Yeah, with the big shoulders and whatnot.
Very close, like everything. It really looks. He looks pretty close. Now, the way he drew Apocalypse here was, it's a bit goofy.
A little bit. I mean, it's a little bit, but I mean that image of Apocalypse has been used over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty iconic, picture of Apocalypse. Especially when talking about the Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you look at the next page, you can definitely see the whole, like, this looks like a page from an early '90s comic.
Oh yeah. And it doesn't look. This page doesn't look anything like Joe Mad. Looks like, in fact, like a completely different artist.
Yes.
Drew this, and that's what happens when you're aping them styles like that.
That's right.
You don't know who you are as an artist.
What's up, Sim? Thanks for coming to hang out.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
And yeah, from here on, like this, it gets really bad. I mean, not really bad, but it's not the same quality. That I'm wondering if there was even some kind of fill-in artist or something. I only seen Roger Cruz credited, but
yeah,
it almost looks like it's such a completely different artist. If it's him, he just.
Dude, that it does make me wonder if there was like another fill-in artist.
Yeah, there could have been. That doesn't look like. Oh, yeah, it looks completely different. Here we go. We finally get to see some Wolverine action.
Yeah.
This is Jean Grey, and we get.
I really like that design of her costume.
Yeah,
it's a unique costume, and it kind of works with,
definitely 90s,
Logan's costume.
It's definitely a '90s costume, though.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
it's
totally.
it's that era.
Uh
I
huh.
like Wolverine in the black and red too.
Yeah.
I think it looks
Yeah.
kind of
I
cool
was. I
like
thought
that.
that was a cool costume for him. You know.
Yeah. And so they're running. Mr. Sinister or Doctor Sinister has a different idea than Apocalypse. Apocalypse wants pretty much all humans, and he doesn't even care if mutants die. He wants only the most powerful to be left over. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much, after the apocalypse happens, he wants only the most powerful, like the fittest, to be left. And Sinister has different plans, so he's kind of sending Wolverine and Jean Grey out to help him accomplish his own agenda. And
Mm-hmm.
then we got a little assassination attempt on Magneto here.
Sinister's always got different plans. Always. That that bastard. He's always trying to do something.
And now where the other characters kind of look cooler, Gambit kind of looks not as cool. They kind of downgraded Gambit, so
Yeah. Gambit and the Externals.
yeah, his outfit there, not the greatest costume change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
it's they kind of lamed him up. You know, he doesn't really have
to
a
be a
costume.
different artist because look at we go from this. So there was definitely a fill-in artist here. There's no way that was Cruz. See, then we go back to Roger Cruz here. There's a definite change. Yeah. So I
Okay,
don't
so
know who
he
the
didn't do
fill-in
the whole
artist
issue.
was. No, he didn't do the whole thing. So he did like the beginning and the end, and there was a fill-in artist in the middle. So yeah, this book is way different than I remember it. And like, look at that jacked up face down there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know that kind of exaggeration was part of the thing that they were all going for. You know,
Yeah.
those exaggerated jaw lines and cheekbones and shit like that.
I mean, look at that Magneto face, though. Ugh. He went from like Magneto to like the Crypt Keeper in like 2 pages. So.
Yeah.
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 So he can really, at this time anyway, he could only draw a face like from one, like straight on, and then every time he had to go to a 3/4 or something, kind of things get wonky. So he hadn't developed his skills yet.
But I mean, he had been in the industry for a while already by this point. You know.
Yeah, I mean, but when that's the way you're drawing, though, like I said, when you're just aping everybody else's style,
Mm-hmm.
you don't learn your fundamentals. Oh, that's
No.
the end.
Yep, that's the end of the issue. Now there was Alpha, there was Omega, and then there was Prime, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The Omega was the one that John Romita Jr. did, and then Prime was the one that
Alan
what was
Davis.
it? Alan Davis and Paul Neary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, but I think out of all of them, this is probably the one I remember the most. I mean, it was
Yeah.
a really. I think that Joe Mad cover and the character designs just made this book just a classic to own, and it is a fun read, and it's worth it to look through just to see, alternate versions of all your favorite characters, at least.
Oh yeah. And this is actually a well that they've gone back to a couple of times.
Yeah, it worked out well the first time, and then the last. In fact, I bought what I thought was X-Men Alpha from Comixology, and then it ended up being X-Men Alpha or something. It was a weird spinoff from 2015, and I'm like, dang it, I spent like $2 on that.
Damn it, that's $2 I want back.
And the problem is, I don't even want to read it. It looks horrible.
Yeah. They X-Man is a character that they really have not been able to figure out what to do with for a while. They tried to make him some kind of weird mutant messiah a few years back, and that didn't go over well. The problem is that X-Man and Legion are too similar in the way that they're presented. I mean, they changed Legion a little bit to have like these multiple different powers and multiple personalities stuck up in his head, which works for the character because he was always mental anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, X-Man is kind of like that, except he's not crazy.
And so this is kind of interesting. Dark Gift says, Dark Gift. He has a dark gift. He said, "This is the point where comics started to lose me. I stuck around." So whereas this is kind of the issue that got me back in, at least for a little while, it kind of knocked him out of it. So that's kind of interesting, yeah.
Michael T says, Age of Apocalypse and Heroes Reborn following it with the last anything from Marvel I gave a crap about. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Heroes Reborn stuff just because it was cool to see Jim Lee drawing the X-Men and, that atrocious Captain America Rob Liefeld piece.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
But, that piece fucking sold, it
became iconic.
Yeah.
And then if you remember, they showed a picture of Arnold. They're like, that no human could actually look like this. They showed a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Looked exactly like that Rob Liefeld Captain America. Like, spot on. Like, he probably used it for reference. So he was, I mean, of course, Captain America would have been so beefcaked out to be that, to look like that. But
I mean, wide as Sabretooth here, wider. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way that Joe Mad drew, though, man. He was, I don't know. He was something else. I mean, all of them,
What's up, Dory?
Those early Image guys really were, like, setting the trend for the next 20 years. And I think right now it's, like, David Finch is really taking over that role. Like, now...
Everybody wants to draw like Finch.
Yeah, everybody wants to be David Finch right now, so...
And I understand because Finch is fantastic. He's super talented.
Yeah, he's amazing. But I mean,
he started out.
Like, you can start with David Finch, but you gotta find.
You gotta find your own.
You gotta find yourself. You can't.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what usually happens when you start out in a certain style. If you're going for that, it happens with writing as well. You read a bunch of something. Your writing takes on aspects of that. You incorporate the things that you love about something that you're reading or consuming into what you're creating. So you do that until you find more of a unique feel for your own voice. So yeah, it's part of growing as an artist.
So I mean, if you can find this book, or you can get it on Comixology. I think it was $2. I mean, it's definitely worth it. It's a fun little read, and actually I recommend the whole
Age of Apocalypse.
run, like the whole Age of Apocalypse. You got Weapon X, which just has Wolverine. Stuff. That's a really great book. One of the Kuberts drew that. I'm pretty sure either Andy. Or
Adam Kubert drew drew Weapon X.
Yeah, that's a great Age of Apocalypse book with Wolverine with the one hand. It's great.
Oh yeah, the what is it? Was it issue 4 where Wolverine's on fire on a Weapon X?
Yeah. Let me stop screen for a minute. Let's go. I actually got it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna see if I could find it real quick.
Yeah, I've got all those. Just gotta find them here in my library. Boom, boom, boom. For some reason, my library doesn't go in alphabetical order. It goes in. It goes in the order that I downloaded the books.
Okay. All right. Well.
Let's see.
Yeah, Weapon X is another name that they've gone back to over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, the whole series, I mean, for Marvel, it really stands out. For me, anyway, it stood out as one of their better kind of crossover or, you know, special events that they ever did. It worked out real nice. And I
Yeah.
mean, I think they made a ton
And
of money
you know,
off
this
of
was
it.
back when events still worked. You know,
Yeah.
they were a lot of fun. People were excited about them because they didn't do them all the time. But yeah, the constant events, it gets a little tiresome. Here we go. This is the cover I was talking about.
Oh, did you find it? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
great.
and that's Adam Kubert. You know,
Yeah, I know. It's
Adam's a
like
badass.
5,000 comics here. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't doubt. I did a search for it, but yeah, this cover just blew me away as a kid. So I was just like, what?
Yeah,
Because look at the perspective, you know, with the ships and whatnot.
every issue of that book is just so great.
Mm-hmm.
I just reread it again probably, a few months ago, so it's still kind of fresh in my brain. Right after I reread the whole Jim Lee, X-Men, so.
Mm-hmm. I do very much enjoy those first 3 issues that Jim Lee and Chris Claremont worked on together. You know, I mean, the rest of the Jim Lee run is good, but you know, there's some real magic in those first 3 issues. You know, that I don't think is there for the rest of that run, if you know what I mean. You know, I don't know. Those 3 comics were the only comics I had with me up in Indiana when I was visiting my grandparents one summer.
Oh, okay.
So I read them over and over and over again, and
Just
then
wore it out.
I got the rest of them, and I was just like, okay, these first 3 really have like kind of a punch and a feel to them, and the rest of them, I mean, they're good, but they're not as good is what it felt like as a kid. And I didn't really understand why. I didn't enjoy them as much. You know, as I got older, I figured it was just because I had read them over and over again, you know. But it's because, you know, Chris Claremont left the X-Men because of that. Like after issue 3, he was done on X-Men. He was just, you know, all right, you're going to take this in a direction I don't want to go. I'm good. Going to go do something else. So so there was a bit of the Claremont magic that left after that, which sucks.
Yeah, so we had these. So all the different books all had their own Age of Apocalypse storyline going.
Yep.
So we had the Weapon
Wolverine
X
became
here.
Weapon X.
Yeah.
X-Men became, I think, Amazing X-Men, and then we had, we had Amazing X-Men. That was the first time we had, or Astonishing X-Men and Amazing X-Men. That's what it was.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's great. Look at that. Oh, smash in the face. Yeah, Kubert was killing it on this book.
Yeah, he was. Just look at the energy, you know?
Yeah.
Look at that page! Go back! Look at that page. I fucking love that, man. The perspective on that page is incredible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the whole Age of Apocalypse. Look how he draws him. Yeah. Rad.
Hell yeah. And you can see the slash marks on Scott's face.
Yeah. Check
Yep.
this out. Oh, man. So good. I wish the colors were better, but it's fine.
You know, the colors are what they are for back then. You know, I think they work.
I think with Kubert's style, though, with a modern coloring style would work really well with his stuff. Like this, seems so plain, right, to me, you know.
No, I can see what you mean. Like some of the stuff on that on the ship and whatnot. Yeah, that's a little plain.
Well, it's little more than flats.
I mean, there's a little bit of rim lighting here and there, but not anything to write home about.
Yeah, there's that cover.
Yep.
That is a rad cover. Man, I love the Kubert's work too. Yeah, look at that page right there. Holy crap. That's just completely rad right there.
It's just I wish that we saw stuff like this now. You know, we don't get pages like this. Nobody does full page splashes like this in comics anymore.
It's because of that time versus money thing, you know. It's like, especially since they really lowered pencilers' rates and stuff. They just don't.
They don't. Yeah, they don't make it
time.
worth the artist's time anymore.
Yeah, they need to put food on the table. They're not. You know, they don't have time to be creative, and that's why the independent market, hopefully, and is, you know, to a certain extent, just really is the old school Marvel in early Image days. It's like
that creativeness. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, this issue, he really put in the work, man. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, but Hubert, I forgot about that page. Clang, gonna beat you with the stump, and then, you know, take you out with the claws. Hell yeah.
Look at that figure. Whoa.
Yep. The action, the movement. You know.
So good.
Yep. Adam always knows how to, and even simple panel layout like this, you know, it's just it's 6 boxes, you know, but look at the action inside, you know, the body language, the movement, you know.
Yeah. And then he has the money shots, you know, just every few pages, double page money shots. Oh, dang. So good. Love it. Yeah,
and
so
you know, his exaggeration of proportions, like the cartooning that he does, I love it. You know, because it's
on fire. Oh my god! All this hair's burn off. Oh, dude, so rad. This has turned into a Weapon X stream instead of a.
It's kind of turned into an Age of Apocalypse stream.
So
I mean, I thought it might, just because, you know, there's only so much in that one issue.
That's
but
really
the entirety.
How many round panels do you see in comics? Not a lot, man.
No, and
That's
you know, that's got a curvilinear perspective going on as well.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
amazing.
Yeah. You know, it's always fun to go back and look at the stuff that you used to read as a kid, and, you know, notice things that, you know, you didn't see back then, or you didn't realize you were seeing back then, you know.
Kissing her beef jerky Wolverine.
Yeah.
So great. Now, I do like the colors on that page. I like the warms and cools there. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he almost killed her there.
Look at that, man.
Yep.
Yeah, the Cuberts. Like,
I
imagine
remember
that whole family so talented.
Yeah, they really are.
Oh, they got Dan Green inking. Yeah, nice.
Dan Green always does a good job.
Jeez, look at that. Rating.
Shrimp.
I love. Didn't he do? He did a book in the snow with Wolverine, and it was like against Lady Deathstrike, and his snow scenes are always so great, like amazing.
That's because he always uses the snow to great effect. Very, very great dramatic effect. Oh, see, go back. Did you see the scorch mark against the wall where he fought Scott? Yep. Yeah, this entire, you know, story arc, this took over the X-Men titles for 4 months, was it? Because each one came out, each one had 4 issues. And yeah, I think it was 4 months that the Age of Apocalypse took over. And they even did, like, you know, spin-off series for, you know, the Avengers and Fantastic Four, to show what was happening with them at the same time.
He like hot-wired.
What's going on, Matt? What?
Matt. He like hot-wired himself back together.
Yeah.
It's freaking rad.
Using parts from his fallen compatriots.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, Age of Apocalypse was one of my favorites. They had a lot of great artists still there, even after they had a pretty decent stable left at that time.
Yeah, they still had some really great artists there. You know, the like we've been saying, Adam Kubert's always a favorite. He's a really nice guy too. If you ever get a chance to talk to him.
I mean, if you look at this, and then if you look at what Roger Cruz did, I mean, there's really no comparison. It's like miles ahead of Roger Cruz, and
yeah,
he has his own unique style. He doesn't, you know,
and his own unique storytelling too.
Yeah,
you know,
you can see some of his influences, but you know it's him. It's not anybody else.
Oh yeah, and you know, even over the years, Adam has incorporated a bit more cartooning into his style to add, you know, a bit more exaggeration.
I think maybe just because he's paying tribute to his dad, but
yeah,
have you noticed his newer stuff really looks like Joe's stuff, especially when he inks himself.
Yeah,
he inks in almost the exact same style as his dad.
Kind of like that brush style.
Yeah, I love that style.
So look at that! Look at that fucking cool ass panel of
crazy
Gateway.
Perspective.
Yeah, I fucking love it, man. It's awesome. Look at the look on his face.
Yeah, these are
fucking dreads flying back. I think so. I mean, this is what superhero comics should be. You know, this is action. This is adventure. You know, this is visually stimulating, and you know they're fun characters to look at, you know?
So rad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right there, dude. Oh,
yep. Never took the claws. The claws were retracted, so shnook.
So great.
There you go. Bye-bye, Slayback.
That is such a great splash right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, there was one where he drew. I think it might have been actually Andy drew it. I'm not sure, but it was with Wolverine, and he had his claws out against the Juggernaut in the bar. Have you ever seen that? It has Cannonball in it, and the Juggernaut shows up at the bar to get a drink, and then Wolverine like faces off against him. I'm not sure if that was Andy or Adam, but that was a great sequence in that X-Men book too.
I can't think of it off the top of my head, but that's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. He did the same thing that he did with Sabretooth, where he had the two claws pop, but not the third one. Like it would make a difference on the Juggernaut, though.
And that's the badass Carol Danvers right there. Yeah.
Oh, that's a different book.
Jodorowsky. Yeah, we'll have to do some Jodorowsky at some point.
Oh, those books were fun.
Yeah.
A lot of nudity and stuff, but fun. Anyway, yeah, I mean that's about it. We kind of, I mean, those are really the X-Men Alpha got me back into reading some X-Men stuff, and Weapon X really was one of the best series out of the whole Age of Apocalypse stuff. So.
Yeah, I agree. These, I think it's sad that they keep trying to go back to Age of Apocalypse and reuse it because they don't have anything new.
Well, nobody has any creativity anymore. It's it's all reruns. Everything's reruns. No one has an original thought anymore, is what it seems like. And I think society is sorely lacking from that missing creativity that needs to be put out there and entertained. Original properties. Stop rehashing things and.
Agreed. Make fun new properties like they did with the X-Men, and it doesn't always have to be a new spin on something, old. Do like you said, make something new, and that's that's what we're doing in this scene here.
I think it is. Yeah, T-High Desert Comics says it was Adam. If it's someone where Logan's standing on the table. Yeah, it's definitely that one.
Michael T said, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great issue too. We'll have to do that one sometime, dude.
Hell yeah, man. I'm really glad that we're doing these. I feel like it's kind of helping me, at least personally, reconnect with, some old stories. I mean, obviously Weapon X is a story that I've read over and over again, but to bring it up and to actually be, to discuss it and, to talk about the Age of Apocalypse, and it brought up a cool discussion on, artists finding their own style. You start out one way and then you develop yourself, and I don't know. I think this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, a good example,
talking.
like we were talking last time, was Barry Windsor Smith started as a straight up Jack Kirby clone. Yep. And then turned into Barry Windsor Smith. So that's how you progress. You start, you have your influences, you may ape for a little while, but then you find yourself. And and Roger Cruz never really did that. Roger Cruz
up until recently.
Yeah, according Joe Mad says he can draw now, but do you even remember anything that Roger Cruz has done after this era? I really don't. No. I remember a few image books. Newman.
Oh yeah.
Todd Knock, and Roger Cruz on those books, and
see, even Todd Knock has his own unique style.
Yeah,
I love that dude's work.
Yep. Yeah, he has a YouTube channel that I was watching.
Yeah, he does.
Do some stuff on. So. Yeah, but back in the day, though, he was another one of those knockoff guys. He was kind of a Joe Mad, a little bit of a Joe Mad knockoff guy, but, he developed his own stuff. And
he kind of solidified it into his own unique style real quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, find yourself, because you don't want to be known as so-and-so's more generic.
You don't want to be. You don't want to be known as the knockoff anything. You want to be known as the original you.
And even when you do an iconic book like X-Men Alpha, no one remembers you drew it. Everybody gives credit to Joe Mad. So there you go.
Nope, that's right.
Yeah.
Michael T says, "I love this show for exactly that reason. Reconnecting with what I originally loved about a medium I feel disconnected with nowadays." Amen. Yep. Old school feeling out, yo. Yeah, for real. Matsuda was great, and a lot of the sad thing is a lot of these guys that we used to read back in the day, they've gone on to more lucrative fields that actually pay them for being good artists,
Mostly in like movies,
storyboards, storyboards, all that good shit.
Video games, that's where if you want to make money as an artist right now, you'd be going into video games, that's where the money's
doing
at.
Concept artwork. I mean, it's you think comics is tough, shit. Doing that's
I would love to do a
difficult,
show
too.
on the old Creed books, because that was my very favorite comic. My favorite was Creed, and then Cyberfrog was my second favorite comic. So during that little era, yeah.
Well, I mean, do you want to do Creed for the next book? It's been fucking forever and a day since I've actually read them.
Yeah, I'd have to find the old ones. I'm sure we can still download them somewhere, though.
They've got to be somewhere. I mean, right?
Yeah, all my Creeds got lost in a move, so I don't have the actual books anymore. So, well, that book too. That's probably why I wanted to do it, because that was one of my prized possessions, and there was like 2 or 3 where I had my most favorite comics, and those, of course, were the 3 boxes that went missing during the move. So,
right.
All my Savage Swords of Conan, my Poison Elves, all my Creeds, all my Cyber Frogs, all that stuff's gone.
Ouch.
Oh, Evil Ernie, a ton of evil. Early Evil Ernie. I had some Evil Ernie ash cans, which they were super rare, and I lost those. So, yeah,
dude, that physically hurts, because I love Evil Ernie. Evil Ernie is one of those characters that I've loved for a very long time.
Maybe we should do Evil Ernie, man.
We should, dude.
Let's
Actually,
do Evil Ernie. Yeah.
All right. Just start off with the first Evil Ernie.
Let's reread the first Evil Ernie, and then we'll do it 2 weeks from now. And if you guys want to reread it, and then you guys want to come in the chat, talk about Evil Ernie, how great of a character he was, and
how he should be returned to Brian Polito. Because I don't know what they're doing with him.
Yep, exactly.
Yes.
So, and then if you want to come into the show, anybody that wants to come in the show, just DM Luke, and he'll make sure he gets you a link so we can get in here and you can discuss the comics with us.
Hell yeah, man! That's what we want to do. We want to make this as this originally this was kind of conceived as a kind of a comic book club. We decide on a book to read, and we read it, and then we come discuss it.
Discuss it, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, we'll do the first Evil Ernie.
What was the first one? Was it Reanimation, or I can't remember what it was called. I kind of remember the cover of it, like him standing with a whole army of zombies behind him.
Let's see. It should just be Evil Ernie. Yeah, Youth Gone Wild.
Okay.
Yep, Youth Gone Wild. There it is.
So we're going to do Evil Ernie Youth Gone Wild in 2 weeks. So if you guys want to download that, or if you have it, reread it, and go ahead and come in with us, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, man. Awesome. That's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Also, that is the first appearance of Lady Death as well.
There you go. Nice.
Brian Pulido created Evil Ernie first, and Lady Death was a byproduct of that. And if you look at Evil Ernie, he kind of looks like Brian.
Yeah.
At least the way Brian looked back then with the wild hair and the leather coat.
I just remember loving the artwork so much. It
Hughes.
was like
Stephen Hughes,
dude,
man.
he was so good, wasn't he?
Yep. He was fantastic, man.
Holy cow. Yep.
Yep. Fantastic stuff. I'm grabbing an image here. I'm going to bring this up, so this will give you an idea for what to look for, so we can discuss this next time.
Yeah.
Youth Gone Wild. Yep.
See, I actually have a tattoo of Smiley, the satanic button, on my arm.
That's awesome.
Here, let's see. I'll see if I can bring up my camera and I'll show you. Let's see.
Yeah, Stephen Hughes was an amazingly talented artist.
Right there.
There he is. Have a psychotic day.
Yep. There's a lot of people with tattoos.
Oh yeah, but I mean, Smiley and Evil Ernie, they were huge underground, hits back then, man.
You know why I got this tattoo? The real reason, me and my buddy got drunk. I think it may have even been my first time ever getting drunk, and there was a guy in the apartment complex where we were staying who just got a tattoo gun. And he's like, I'm going to get a Wile E. Coyote. What do you want? I was like, I don't want freaking Bugs Bunny. So I actually had, from Wizard Magazine, there was a little comic of Evil Ernie that came in
nice.
Wizard. And I had it, and I just turned to the page with that smiley image on it, and the dude just traced it right on my arm. That's why I got the tattoo.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
So, yeah, that was my first and only tattoo. So
I don't have any tattoos yet.
Yeah,
well, I've got a few ideas, but yeah.
I definitely regretted it the next morning because I woke up, my arm was healed to my pillow.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Dude, put nothing over it. We had been drinking. We were just it bled like crazy because I had been drinking so much.
Wow.
But yeah, man. I mean, I got a comic book thing on my skin, so I love comics, man. For me,
right back at you, Lola.
Comics were always my my escape. I had a horrible childhood, but my grandfather would bring me stacks and stacks of comic books, and that was true escapism for me. I could go to another realm, another universe. I could pretend I was my favorite, superhero. I could get away from reality. And that was a big thing for a white trash kid like me that couldn't really afford fancy video games and stuff, but I could afford, $1.50 for a comic book. So, and get away from the world for a little while.
Absolutely. So. Michael T says, as a former tattoo artist, I can confirm I did way more Godsmack Tribal Sons than cool comic stuff.
Yep.
How the fuck do I not have a tattoo? I have yet to find anything that I want on me forever. There have been a few things that I've gotten real close, but there's nothing that I've been like, I definitely want that.
Yeah, Goblin Girl
tattoo. I'm waiting for Dan's book because I know there'll be a sick piece somewhere in there.
This is what we're talking about. Unique concepts. I think the Goblin Girl is great. And then when you're done reading Goblin Girl, you can read my comic. You know, it's gonna come out. You're gonna like it. You know, little metal mayhem rock boy. You know, rock and roll, magic powers.
That's right.
Demigods. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Hell yeah. Metal mayhem rock boy.
You saw I showed. You saw the promo I did, right?
The promo piece, the
little promo piece where he's calling down like the comets, the comets with the skulls in them, and he's got the fire up. It's the one I drew the line drawing on your show, and then I just finished the promo piece.
Oh, okay, yeah. You were inking it on Topic List with us.
Yeah, and I've been working on the pencils. For
I don't think I've seen the
pages.
finished. I don't think I've seen the finished yet. You should just bring that up, dude.
Working on it. Let's see where you at. Yeah, I'm real proud of it, and I finally decided on the style that the whole book's going to be, and it's going to be a little more colorful than I had thought in the beginning. But I just liked the way it turned out. So
yeah.
So this is going to be my contribution to comics, coming through Inkslayer, Metal Mayhem
dude.
Rock Boy.
Okay, yeah.
And so, yeah, you see I did a little more hatchy.
Yeah, I didn't get to see this finished. This is cool, man.
And, you know, kind of like a colored pencil. I wanted to keep a lot of texture in there. Also,
it gives it a unique feel, too.
It still has the original pencil line drawing underneath of it. Just tinted like a brown color, so... I think it makes a real unique finish for a comic. So
yeah, it does.
A little animated. So
yeah, I love the texture on it. Kind of like you said, colored pencil on toned paper or something like that. You know.
Yeah, that's
cool,
really
dude.
what I was going for. And actually, I'm gonna do a lot of creative stuff because I love to do traditional art. Yeah. So I'm gonna have certain sequences that are gonna be not every page is going to be the same style. I've decided I'm going to have charcoal on toned paper for some pages, and you know, like the gray paper with the toned charcoals and stuff on it, and to do certain sequences and stuff, and watercolor, acrylic paint, all kinds of stuff, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
I figured it's my book. I can be as creative as I want.
Exactly. That's exactly it, man. You know, this is your book. This is your project. You can be as creative and out there with it as you want, you know?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and finally I'll get to put my own thing out there and make my own little contribution to the craft that I love. So, yeah, I can't wait.
Happy 30th anniversary to X-Men #1. That's right. You know what? We still have a stack of X-Men #1 in the back, I kid you not, of the gatefold cover that big of X-Men #1 and X-Force #1.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. We've got a lot of them still. So, I mean, if
that's the Jim Lee one?
The Jim Lee one, the gatefold cover. We have a literal stack.
Well, it sold. How many millions did it sell? Are they first?
8 million. Yeah, there's the first printings, dude.
Wow,
8 million copies.
I want one.
All right. Yeah, man.
I don't have one.
Really? No, you don't have one of the gatefolds? Shit.
No,
man.
I don't.
All right. Well, we gotta fix that.
A reprint.
Yeah, we gotta fix that then, man.
Was that the #1 all-time comic, 8 million? Or what's
yes, that is the highest-selling comic book of all time.
And then McFarlane had the highest independent, or did McFarlane beat Liefeld's Youngblood?
I
can't remember which one was the most.
Man. I can't remember. He probably did. I think Spawn #1 outsold.
Yeah. I think it was Youngblood, and then Spawn outsold it. I mean, even the first day, and it's fair. Even Larson's Savage Dragon sold a bazillion copies, but it was good back then. The first issues were good, so I love the first 50 issues of Savage Dragon before it went all crazy. But
yeah, I mean, it actually looked like a good book for a while, and then Larson just kind of dropped off as far as making the artwork. I don't know if it was because nobody was paying attention to the book, or if he was just doing too many things, or
the first probably 20 issues of the book were his best work in his entire career. like he put in the work, in the detail, the hatching.
Yeah.
I mean, they were.
It looks good, and it was uniquely Larson. You know, it was uniquely Larson.
Donald DeLay has the black and white omnibus, and he showed in black and white. It really looks great. So, yep. So then, like all those, with the exception of Jim Valentino, all them guys were putting out top-notch work in the beginning.
Yeah.
Shadow, I give it to him that Shadowhawk was a cool-looking character.
Yep.
But he never got a story together, and he never got a consistent art team on it, man. That was good. He should have got the best artist he could find to just keep drawing Shadowhawk.
All he'd have to do is keep writing it, you know, and you know, let the artist do the cool thing. Yeah.
He's like the Image Comics Moon Knight. Like Moon Knight looks rad, but they never had a great story with him. So.
I mean, the Warren Ellis the story that Warren Ellis did was pretty cool. That he did with Declan Shalvey a few years back. That was fun. It was a neat spin on Moon Knight. You know, it added a little more Bruce Wayne to the Moon Knight, I guess.
Yeah.
Which was neat. Added, you know, he was Mr. Knight, you know, going around in the limo, and then when shit popped off, you know, he was Moon Knight. You know, he was the avatar of, you know, what the fuck is the name of the god? Anyway, damn it, that's gonna bug me now. Come on, chat, help me out. What's the name? Knufu, whatever. Anyway, yes, Splat. Splat is great. I miss Splat's artwork.
Oh, Stephen Platt. Oh my god.
Khonshu. Thank you, Michael T. I appreciate it. I knew it started with a K.
So there was
it's a very cool artifact. LaRocca used it for Claremont's Extreme X-Men. Yeah.
The new Shadowhawk #1. That had some great art in it. I did like the artwork in that book.
Yeah.
Like
I want to say that Fraga did the cover.
I was going to say the cover is beautiful to that book.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Fraga did the cover to that.
I know Danny Miki inked it. I'm not sure who drew it. Let me see if I can figure. Yeah, but that was a great book. Oh, it says,
hell yeah.
Andrew Pipoy was the artist on the
Pipoy,
book.
yeah.
Yeah, he was a good artist.
Oh, wow.
Chap
Yap? You remember Chap Yap?
Oh, dude.
I've got a Wolverine poster in my studio that's just fucking
so good.
Yeah.
Some of them guys just completely, like you said, they probably went into like movies and storyboarding.
Oh, they did. You know, they went into an industry that actually paid them for being the tremendous illustrators that they are.
Because they were so great, and then they were just gone. It's like, oh, what happened to them guys? The artwork was great.
Yep. I know that Matsuda actually went into animation. Like executive producing animation, and like, you know,
he was very cartoony to start with.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
he did some awesome Wolverine stuff. Actually, I think Larson wrote the Wolverine stuff, and ended up Wolverine versus Galactus out in space. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, Valentino was the only like image guy that I didn't get at all because the dude couldn't draw. He was okay, I guess. I don't know. He never clicked with me.
I never quite understood the draw to his stuff.
He really was like an indie comics guy. He really wasn't talented enough to be over in the mainstream, but somehow he got through them. He got through them gatekeepers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did some okay work for Marvel. You know, it was decent for the time. He just, he happened to know the guys really well, and he kind of got drug along. I think he was a part of it. He was a part of the discussions when it first started, so he just, he was there, and he ended up being more of the book.
I gotta find out what happened to that. How do you say his name? Pipoy.
Pipoy, yeah.
I gotta find out what happened to him. He was great on Shadowhawk. Yeah. The new Shadowhawk, really nice work. So, but maybe by then it was just too late. The boom was over.
Yeah.
or the
Yeah, I
story was
mean,
probably just really bad.
well, I mean, I mean, hell, after the death of Superman, uh, the comic market really did just kind of fucking crash. I remember like the beginning of the 2000s, Marvel was filing for fucking bankruptcy, Chapter 11 bankruptcy,
Oh
and
yeah, I remember that.
that's that's where we got the Spider-Man and X-Men films from, because they had to sell their big name properties. Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and X-Men, they had to sell those properties off in order to keep the fucking company afloat. In order to to not fold. So that's why we ended up with the first batch of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that if the Iron Man movie had not paid off the way it did, Merrill Lynch would have owned the rights for basically the MCU.
Oh,
They would have owned the fucking film rights. Yeah. I don't know if it was just the film rights or if it was like the character rights in general, but yeah, they had to put up the rights as collateral in order to get that first Iron Man film made.
You kind of remember, like, comic book movies were really not like people didn't want to touch a comic book movie with a 10-foot pole. It was like,
well, I mean, there were anomalies like The Crow. The Crow was a comic book movie that was successful. I mean, the Ninja Turtles movie, obviously, but I mean, the Ninja Turtles was a fucking marketing juggernaut all of its fucking own. So.
Yeah, before that, you had the original Superman movies, and but yeah, usually comic book movies weren't a big bet. Now they're like big money. Like I remember for a while there, they were optioning any freaking comic book they could get their hands on, like any piece of garbage. Even they would give you $500,000 just to hold it.
Oh yeah,
so no one
I
else
remember.
gobbled it up.
Yeah. I remember Rob Liefeld's always been part of like working on a deal with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith and stuff like that and whatnot, developing different properties, and some of that stuff got far, some of it didn't. Like I remember there was a comic book that Rob Liefeld was going to do with Will Smith. It was called The Mark, and it was going to be a major motion picture.
Yeah.
And nothing ever materialized of it. I don't even think we ever saw a comic book of it,
Well, look how hard it's been for... Well, I think this is partly because of McFarlane, because he wants to produce. But and look how long it's taken him just to get another Spawn movie, kind of out the door. He's like on his third or fourth director already, and it doesn't seem to be coming together for him, but... So.
Well, again, that's also partially because Todd wants it the way Todd wants it, and he wants to direct, and he wants he wants what he wants.
Spawn is a hard R movie, man. If he can
yes.
If he can get Spawn made hard R, all the gore.
Well, he wants to do it like a horror movie. He wants to use Spawn as like a horror element rather than like the caped.
Like Spider-Man
anti-hero.
Yeah. Which he really is. I mean,
the dude he is a horror
coming back from hell. To yeah, it's crazy.
It's funny because he created Spawn to the name Spawn to show up before Spider-Man. But he also took the concept of the of Venom, like the symbiote, whatnot, and that's Spawn's costume is a hell symbiote, basically.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. But,
he's just had he had that. Didn't they sell over 1 million copies of King Spawn #1?
No, it wasn't 1 million copies, I don't think.
Oh, I
but
thought
it was a lot. They sold a lot of pre-orders. Yeah, it was some of the highest pre-order numbers that they've had, since he launched Spawn.
Okay, yeah. Spawn. I know maybe it was 300,000 or something. I know it was a lot. Like it seemed like a lot. So
let's see, Hype Beast. Let's see, King Spawn #1. First new monthly Spawn book since 1992 is on its way to sell over 500,000 copies in pre-orders.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
But that's not issues sold. That's ordered, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's pre-orders.
now
That's 500,000 copies in pre-orders. Now,
do they
that's...
take returns on Spawn comics? No. Okay, that's the question.
Listen, I actually asked about returns, and a lot of things do offer returns, but they don't make the shipping is not free. So shipping these fucking things back is what costs, and it's
you
just
might
not
as well
worth
keep
it.
them, yeah.
It's not fucking worth it, is what my boss told me. She's like,
Now,
yeah.
did you
I mean,
guys
can
order a
send...
shit ton of King Spawn?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she ordered enough to have some on the wall and to be able to fill pull lists.
Now, do comics book store or like if they think a book's going to be really collectible, do they order extra copies to like store in case the price goes up? Do they do things like that?
She usually doesn't. She usually doesn't do that. Not usually. Hang on, we gotta address this. Yeah, King Leek, you might be the only one that enjoyed Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider.
I don't know how you fuck up a movie with a guy in a leather jacket, flaming skull on a motorcycle. That's just should be
Hey,
automatic.
the second one
cool.
was a little better. It was a little more grindhouse.
It should be automatic cool and hard to mess up, but yeah. It was hard to watch.
I do like the second one better though. The second one feels a little bit more Ghost Rider than the first one. The first one was a little rough.
I think they should
watch.
be the Divine Grayson, Trent Kanuga, Ghost Rider. I enjoyed that run. I think it would it'd be an okay like entrance into Ghost Rider, like not as cheeseball as she wrote it. Of course, but more like with the hardcore biker element and everything.
Yeah,
I really like that. And with him having problems being able to turn into Ghost Rider, I think that would be a fun little like he usually could beat these bikers up, but he can't even turn into Ghost Rider, so he gets his ass kicked. And I think it'd be great.
What's up, Joe? Good to see you, man.
King
How
Toad.
you doing? Yeah.
Death.
See, the second one kind of felt more like a grindhouse film to me. You know what I mean? He looked dirtier. The CGI jacket was a little clean in the first one. But I mean, I love both the movies for what they are. I was puzzled when they cast Nick Cage. I'll be perfectly honest. Yeah.
The feel of the movie just didn't feel right to me. I don't know why. I don't know. It didn't feel like Ghost Rider,
Yeah. King Link says, I said Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider, not the movies themselves.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, no, I didn't really dig Nick Cage as Ghost Rider. I don't think he really got Johnny
Now, who would
Blaze.
be a good Ghost Rider? That's
the guy who plays Flag in Suicide Squad.
okay.
That's Johnny Blaze to me.
I can see
that stunt motorcyclist, the reckless man, the same dude that was in Altered Carbon. Cannot remember his name for the fucking life of me right now.
I'm trying to think. I can't even think of who would, in my head, would be a good Ghost Rider. Nothing just pops straight into my head.
Joel Kinnaman.
Johnny Cage.
Yeah, I think Joel Kinnaman would be a good Johnny Blaze.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liam Hemsworth. Tom Kinnaman.
Thanks, King Luke. Liam Hemsworth would. Yeah, I could see that. Let's see. It was bad writing on the movies. Nick Cage could have done it better had he had the script. Yeah.
What would you have thought about Nicolas Cage as Superman?
Oh, Lord.
Did you see him trying on that suit?
Yeah.
That would have been an experience.
Man, yeah, that would have been an interesting experience. I'm not sure why they would think that Tim Burton is the right person to do a Superman film.
Yeah.
Like who looks at Tim Burton and says, "You know what? You Cure-looking motherfucker, I want you to make a fucking Superman film.
Yeah.
No. Nuh-uh. Batman? Yeah, I can totally see it. You know, I mean, I love the 89 and...
An animated Batman movie. Tim Burton would kill at an animated Batman movie. Or,
oh, dude. Can you imagine like a stop-motion animation Batman movie? Like an Arkham Asylum movie in the style of like...
$1 billion movie
style,
right there.
Right?
Arkham,
in the style of Nightmare Before Christmas?
Nightmare
or something
Before
like
Christmas, but Arkham Asylum with
Arkham
Tim
Asylum.
Holy
there you go.
cow.
There you go, DC. $1 million fucking idea.
That's a $1 billion idea.
Y'all motherfuckers heard it here first.
Right there. $1 billion. Easy. That would be so cool. I would go see that. I would go to a theater. And I haven't gone to a theater in forever to go see that. That would be awesome. Yeah.
See, Flying Felines, man.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be awesome.
Dude, just all the villains, on that style.
I mean,
Joker
seeing the Joker, seeing the Penguin,
Penguin,
Hell
Scarecrow, they would all be badass in that style.
Hell yeah, love to see Catwoman and Poison. I always wanted to see Burton's version of Poison Ivy. To be perfectly honest with you, I always wanted to see what he would do with that character.
Yeah, I could see it. It would be great.
Yeah. Hell
but they're all messed up now, so it's...
Well, I mean,
I've been hearing, I heard, Ethan said that he's heard it, and I've heard it from a few people that a lot of the DC books have gotten better. Like, even though there's less of them, that the quality has gone up. So maybe they're taking a hint where Marvel never really is, so...
Well, Marvel doesn't care.
They had a fluke with Better Ray Bill, so it's like... They won't let that happen again.
I mean, that's the thing about some of the stuff was good, like the Venom stuff that Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman were doing. Like, that was really good to start out with, and then we got to what is it? Extreme Carnage, I guess is what it was.
Yeah, they always go crazy with those symbiote stories. They did it back in the 90s, too, and then they just went crazy. Maximum Carnage, and like, it was cool and then all of a sudden, then it's like, every book is the same, and it's like, this is boring.
And that's the thing. They rely way too much on the events, and they try to pack on the miniseries, and it's hard for me to, like, in good conscience, pitch these miniseries. It's like, all I'll do is I will tell people what I am picking up. I'm picking up this story and the main miniseries. That's it. I'm not really paying attention to all this other stuff. Just it gets overwhelming, and people feel like they got to get everything in order to get the whole story. And I'm trying to explain to them that no, you don't. Yes, absolutely. Would have to have a Danny Elfman soundtrack, 100%.
I would like to do some Lobo books at one point. I like the Lobo that a lot of people don't like. I like the Val Simex Lobo. I really love that series. Val Simex was drawing it. I don't know how you say it. Val Simex?
The artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the way he drew Lobo. He drew some really detailed panels in those comics. I don't know how you say it. It's
Zemeckis?
Seimke, maybe E-S. Maybe it is Zemeckis. First name is Val. He did a Wolverine series after that blew chunks. It was horrible. It was when Wolverine had no nose, and he had like the mask over his face. It was really bad.
Yeah.
But his Lobo stuff was great before that. I think he got to Marvel and he had no deadline, so like it was too much. Like he had to put the books out too fast.
Yeah. I'm actually I'm looking up some of the artwork here. Oh yeah, I remember seeing this dude's work on Lobo.
Yeah, he did like 50,
yeah, he had a great style, man.
He did like 50 or more issues on Lobo. He did a lot. And when I was younger, I picked up like every issue. I loved his Lobo.
Huh.
And you know what? I didn't know about the classic Lobo yet. I hadn't read any of them yet. I only knew what the current series was. And so then I went back and found out, all right.
Hell yeah. Look, here's the dude's website. Val Semekis
okay.
.com.
Yeah, his Lobo stuff was really rad.
Yeah.
He had some great art.
Solid line work, man. Like, Lost Souls, nice.
Can you click on that Lobo up above? Let's see if we can.
Nope.
Nope.
We'll go to the portfolio.
Let's see here. I have all his issues in here. I'll find him real quick.
Ooh, Lady Death Pit up. Oh, hey, look at that.
He's a really good artist.
Yeah. I remember seeing this guy's work all across different Marvel comics and a few DC back in the 90s. Huh.
Yeah, and he did, let me share my screen. This is a cover that I really liked that he did. It was like a Lobo PI kind of cover. Like a Sin City Lobo. Lobo City.
Oh yeah, this was back when they did the I have a Lobo Cop #1.
Yeah.
When they were doing the parody stuff.
And so like just his artwork was really good. Like
wow, look at that.
Yeah, he did a lot of characters, and this is a let's just say I didn't pay for this copy. There may or may not have been a torrent involved. He melts the dude's head in a microwave. Yeah,
whoops,
dude, look at the detail.
Wow.
So yeah, I'd like to go over this run on.
Yeah, this is they actually have this entire run up on Amazon digitally.
Yeah, I'll buy it over in Comixology because it's going to be clearer images. But
yeah,
these are just scans. But yeah, he did a great job. Like all the pages are super detailed. Like he has so many characters and
great art, man.
And he's kind of like, I think he's kind of like one of those guys that wasn't like huge. He never really got real huge, but he did a lot of work, like his body of work and real quality work. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to go over that.
Yeah, we should. Oh, dude, if we're gonna go over some Lobo, we gotta do Blazing Chain of Love. We gotta do some the Last Zarnian. Hell yeah, man. And if you guys have suggestions out there for stories that you want to see covered, don't hesitate to send us a message. Leave a comment down in the comment section of this video.
You might tell us some books we don't know about, and we can check them out and go over them. So anyway, I really have to take a piss. So
all right, well, we should probably wrap it up here. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know Danny Elfman put out a record for Doyle of the Misfits. That's awesome. Gonna have to check that out. As will Flying Feline, apparently. Doyle played at my venue once. Good show. Wildly controlling dude, though. Uh-oh. Love his shows, but I'm in Spokane unless they book them myself. All right, y'all. Well, we are going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you all so much for watching and hanging out with us. We are going to be hitting up Evil Ernie, Youth Gone Wild next time. So be ready, be prepared. And we will see you
DM Luke if you want in. So
that's right.
See you later,
all right,
guys.
Y'all. Later.